It's Linda here from the Guadalupe Library, and I'm here to talk to you about llamas. Aren't they great? I made this really fun plush llama, and we're going to talk about how to make this in a little bit. I wanted to show you how you can do this at home. But before I do that, let me introduce to you this book, Llama Crafts by Ellen Deacon. This is packed full of fun llama crafts. If you love llamas and you want to make other crafts besides this one, you need to check out this book from the Maricopa County Library District. It has 15 different crafts and it has some templates included. I've got some other books I want to talk to you about too, because llamas are everywhere in our literature. We've got adult books. This is a mystery called The Silence of the Llamas. We've got kids books like The Magic Tree House, Late Lunch with Llamas. And here's another mystery, The Llama of Death. Here's a nonfiction book. If you're interested in raising llamas or alpacas, this is the book for you, Llamas and Alpacas. And of course, our favorite Llama books by Anna Dudney. This is Llama Red Pajama. And here's a new one, Llama Unleashes the Alpacalypse. Llama Mrs. Mama. And lastly, this is another picture book for little ones called Crafty Llama. So you can tell that we love llamas. And today we're gonna find out how we can make a really fun plush llama for either a pillow or just to hug and snuggle with. So let's get started. This project is found in the book Llama Crafts by Ellen Deacon of Happy Thought. To make our llama, we need a sewing machine and thread, furry fabric, fiber fill, a yardstick and or ruler, pins, needle, scissors, felt for the legs, face, and ears, buttons or felt for eyes, fabric for the blanket, and embellishments like fringe, rickrack, embroidery floss for the tassels. My furry fabric was challenging to work with as the fur was so long. It would be easier and just as cute to use shorter fur. I used the illustrations in the book to create my pattern. No template was given. I drew the shape on a large piece of paper. Newspaper, parchment paper, or wax paper work well, or even tape a few sheets of printer paper together. Notice that the shape is almost square with cutouts around the back and tail. Here are the dimensions. Feel free to pause the video so that you can write them down. When working with fur, it is important to see if it has a nap. That means that the fibers are all facing in one direction. This fur clearly has a nap, and I want all the fibers to face down. Notice that I made an arrow on my pattern indicating the direction of the nap. I am placing the pattern on the fabric following the nap. I am drawing my shape 1/2 inch away from the pattern on all sides. This is the seam allowance. You can use your ruler to mark your seam allowance around the pattern if you want to. Remember to flip your pattern over and keep the nap arrow in the same direction when you draw the second shape. Again, mark it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance on all sides. Use a pair of very sharp scissors to cut out both shapes. Now we need to cut out the felt pieces. Notice how the legs are stuffed with fiber fill and attached in the seam. You will need to cut out the face and the ears as well. Okay, we have all of our pieces cut out and ready to assemble. But before we do, I want to show you 2 hand sewing skills. The first is tying a knot in your thread. After threading your needle, grasp both ends around your index finger and wrap it around once. Roll the thread off, creating a knot. Repeat for a larger knot. You will need this large knot when working with felt. The second thing I want to show you is the finishing knot when you run out of thread or are at the end of your sewing. I'm showing you the overhand stitch here. You will use it to sew the leg pieces together using thread that matches your felt. I am using a contrast color so you can see what I'm doing. When your thread begins to get short, you will need to tie a knot in it and cut it off before continuing with a fresh piece of thread. Simply make a loop and insert your needle through it, but do not pull it tight yet. Slide your needle into the loop again and hold it flat against the fabric. Pull the thread tight to the needle, and then pull your needle through. You want that knot right next to the fabric. Then you can cut your thread here, or I like to push my needle to the other side and trim the thread there. That just secures the thread neatly. Sew all 4 of the legs in this manner. Turn them inside out and stuff them with a little fiber fill. Do not overstuff them. Leave the ends open. To form the ears, fold one edge over 2/3 of the way and fold the other edge over the first. Baste the pieces together with a long stitch using a needle and thread. Repeat with the other ear, making sure to fold it in the opposite direction of the first one. Okay, it's time to put it all together. Place all 4 legs side by side on the right side of one body piece, with the open end of the legs even with a straight bottom edge, pointing upwards. Pin them into place. Line up the ears so that they point upward the way you want them, and then flip them upside down. Line up the bottom edge of the ear with the top edge of the head and pin in place. Cover with the other body piece, putting it on face down so that the right sides are together. Pin the front to the back, making sure to line up all the curves. We are going to leave an opening on the llama's hind end for turning right side out and stuffing it. I usually do not pin the part I want to keep open so that I remember where to stop when I'm sewing. I'm going to go ahead and use those same pins that I used on the legs to hold the seam together. Stitching 1/2 inch from the edge, sew the pinned areas together on the sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, this stitching may be done by hand. Keep your stitches small and even to contain the fiber fill. Take care not to run over your pins with the machine, as it can break the needle. Here's the fun part. Turn your llama right side out, reaching in and smoothing all the seams. Fill your llama with fiber fill. Try to get it even all through the head, body, and tail so that it holds its shape. Resist the temptation to overstuff it. Turn the open edges under 1/2 inch and pin them together. Close the opening using the overhand stitch, trying not to get too much fur caught in those stitches. Again, a shorter fur would be a lot easier. When you're done, securely knot the thread and trim it short. For the llama's fringe, roll up one of the scraps of fur and figure out how it will look best on your llama. Baste it together with a large stitch and then stitch it onto the head, just in front of the ears. Style it to your liking. Next, we are going to give our llama a face and embellish it with tassels and a blanket. Cut a Y-shaped nose out of a contrasting color of felt, or you could draw it on the round piece with a permanent marker. Use white glue to fix it onto the oval piece of felt, and then glue this to the llama's face. It's time to add the eyes. Notice where we place them, right beside the top of the Y on his nose. This is what gives our llama such a cute expression. Sew the buttons on with needle and thread, or if you'd rather, glue on felt eyes. And voila! Our finished blanket size is 4 by 10 inches. Cut your fabric into a rectangle, allowing a ½ inch for your seam allowances. Press it under a 1/4 inch all the way around and another 1/4 inch again, and stitch it. Add the embellishments if desired. Mine had to be hand stitched due to the plastic pieces. Next, the necklace and tassels. Stitch or tie your rickrack or fringe or other decorative embellishment around the llama's neck. Keep it relatively snug. And then tie a cord around its neck a little bit looser. This will hang lower and will hold the tassels. To make the tassels, wrap your fingers with bright colored embroidery floss 20 times, and then cut. Tie the top of your loop tightly with a contrasting color of floss. Tightly wrap the contrasting colored floss around the tassel a 1/2 inch from the top. Knot it securely twice. Cut the opposite end to release all the threads and trim them evenly, and then you'll have your tassel. Tie your tassels to the cord and trim the edges neatly. Add the blanket and you are finished. What a cute little llama.